I don't have a woman's voice. How's that gonna work?
Come on, guys. I'll make you laugh before the show.
Hey, you just saying that, Dalton, was literally the first thing that people heard.
Fantastic.
All out of context. They don't know what the hell is going on. The show starts out, I don't have a woman's voice. They're like,
dude, like, maybe y'all can enlighten me. Like, I'm so thankful before we get into this. I'm so thankful that the better choices prevailed, and I didn't end up being an audio engineer in college, because I spent the better part of 3 hours banging my head against a wall trying to get my studio microphone to work. Lucas has got his setup going, and he sounds pretty good. Y'all got y'all setups. Y'all sound good. And I've had studio microphones for years, and I can't get the freaking noise gate program that I have to work. So we have to settle for this. I hope this sounds seductive enough for whoever that gentleman was.
Well, we live in a Trump America now, so we gotta get used to everything getting tampered with.
Is everything the fault of a Trump America now?
You got that right, damn it.
Damn it, we haven't even started the show yet, and it's already getting hot in here. Sheesh!
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in to the PWF Empire podcast. We were supposed to do this show on Thursday.
They had shitty.
What had happened was...
Yeah, what had happened was... I didn't even tell you guys this story, but... well, actually, we did do a show. It's just nobody heard it but us.
You should have been here, though.
You want to know what the issue with my internet was?
It's shitty.
No. The cable was unscrewed from my amplifier. So I called my internet provider. What was it? Friday morning, and I was on the phone with them for about 30 minutes, and something told me, okay, go out of my room, go to my living room, and just check the whole setup. And I looked down and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this cable just hanging around out here? Turns out it was unscrewed. So I screwed it back in, and boom, internet.
Why is my ass not shocked right now? Or why am I not like this?
Because it's a Trump America. That's why.
So the solution was as simple as, did you try turning it off and turning it back on again?
Oh, Jesus.
I blame Cass. for all of it.
Yeah, it sounds like a problem that would be Kaz's fault. Yeah.
Yeah,
what I do?
Cass is known for technical difficulties in the past. Just for our listeners out there, if you haven't kept track, every time audio botches, it's usually Cass's fault. No, I'm just playing, maybe. I love you, man.
Okay, guys. So we'll be recapping a lot of the stuff that we talked about on Thursday, because we were talking, and I was like, God damn, I wish this was on air. Because this was some really good stuff that we talked about. Hopefully you guys remember a lot of what was discussed. But before we get there, I do have one thing that I want to bring to your attention. With this being the last month of the year...
We're getting fired.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
No, Cass, we're getting deported.
Once I tally up those survey numbers, we'll see. But yes, we do have this thing called the PWF Empire Year-End Awards, aka the W's. They are the official PWF Empire Awards to honor the best of the year in the world of wrestling. And the awards are voted on by a panel of PWF Empire hosts, alumni, and fans. And in an effort to make this year's nominations truly reflective of the great content of the wrestling world, we want to widen our scope in searching for the nominees. Before the voting officially begins, we are opening up the pre-nominations to you. And when I say you, I mean Cass, Lucas, Dalton, and also the viewers and listeners of PWF Empire. Now, the purpose of the pre-nominations is to take the pulse of the audience to see along what lines fans are thinking. We want to know, who do you guys think should be nominated and all of that good stuff, because with us, it's only 4 of us, and we can only think so far. So we want to make sure that we got a wide range of stuff going on. So if it's a match that we may have forgotten about, and you guys bring it up like, oh yeah, that was a good one, we got to include that one, or a person, whatever it may be. Now, keep in mind that these are not official ballots. They're just suggestions on what or who you think should be nominated. So once you get to the actual screen, feel free to name as many suggestions as you want to. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be your pick for wrestler of the year. Shit, you can name 15 people if you want to. But yeah, your suggestions will be taken into consideration, and the official nominations will be revealed at a later date. If you want to access that form where you can add your suggestions, just go to the main page of pwfempire.com. I think it's the first post up there. It says something out like pre-nominations, or go to pwfempire.com/dubbies. That's DUBBYS.
By the way, Jay, it's interesting you bring all of this up right now. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I personally feel like WWE is not deserving of a Dubbies this year. You want to know why? Because this year sucked.
Well, I guess it's a good thing that
ring-wise?
it's not for WWE specifically. It's for
Right.
wrestling.
Well,
If you watched anything other than WWE, maybe you could contribute, but you don't. So, yeah.
no. But no, come on. You know there's a problem when the main product out there is WWE, and that main product hasn't given us a reason to consider anything memorable or special this year. I mean, am I
that's-
wrong?
I mean, no, you're not wrong.
In
but
some aspects you are, but I understand like the
Whoa,
overall
how?
product of WWE. What I mean,
I don't even think there's a wrestler of the year, a match of the year from WWE.
I disagree with that.
Oh, what the hell are you talking about?
Like,
Whoa, come on, lay the sucker on me, guys. I'm ready. I got my back up here. Come on.
AJ Styles.
Oh, no. See, I knew you were going to say him. You want to know why I knew you were going to say him? Because everybody believes that because he became world champion at, what was it, SummerSlam, that, he's untouchable. But here's how I disprove all of that. Remember how this guy started off the year, AJ Styles. I'm counting the entire year, not just the second half of 2016 when he got red hot over the summer heading into the fall. I'm talking about when he was on Raw, when he was a babyface. AJ Styles did not get brought up to the WWE as good as you would like for him to have been brought up. And that's the case for many of these wrestlers. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Even though Roman Reigns had a good stretch as well, he collapsed in the second part of the year. AJ Styles, he may be hot right now, but he's not the hottest thing going on in WWE right now.
he has to grow into his position. And I think that that's okay. I wouldn't say that AJ Styles was completely terrible at the beginning of the year. There was a lot of stuff.
He wasn't terrible, but he also wasn't spectacular in my opinion.
And I will agree with
true.
that. He grew into his position. I am not going to be one that sits here and says that every single time I saw someone on screen, they had to be knocking it out of the goddamn park for me to consider them for Superstar of the Year. And yes, if that was the standard that I was holding people to, then shit, nobody in WWE would be eligible for Wrestler of the Year. But that's not the standard that I'm using.
It's an unrealistic standard.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was about to say.
Why?
It's not
but
realistic.
why is it not?
Because it's the fucking real world. That's
So everybody's supposed to be mediocre in WWE? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what Jay's contending. That's not what any of us are contending.
Here's
It's
what
just
I'm
that
saying. Knowing the climate of WWE, there is no one that will be hot every single time they're on. Well, except for The Miz. But
and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan.
Who?
You mean Daniel Bryan, the guy that was feuding with Kane in a See No Evil storyline? That Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, I remember that.
Wait, are we gonna
You mean the
discredit
CM Punk that was feuding with Kevin Nash?
John Cena?
That CM
no,
Punk?
and John Cena and Triple H. Don't forget that guy now.
But it's easy to sit there and cherry pick all of the good shit that he did, but I can disprove what you're saying right now. All I have to do is pick one shitty match or one shitty storyline, and boom, that proves that they were not hot 100% of the time.
But they were certainly hotter than anyone that's on the roster right now.
Okay, well, guess what? Neither one of them are competing in the year 2016, so neither one of them are competition to anyone who would be nominees for Wrestler of the Year.
They were examples, but here's my thing. All right, so who would you guys qualify in the list from WWE?
We'll get there. We're not there yet.
Because to me, there's just nobody at all.
And who says that the nominees have to
you don't have to.
be WWE?
You don't have to vote. You don't have to vote, just like you don't have to vote in the election.
Real Rojo Bear 24 in the chat. I agree with you. Who's this new guy?
Who's who? Who are we talking about here?
I think they're referring. Never mind.
In the immortal words of Fred Flintstone, hold it. Hold on 1 minute. Let's just backtrack and let's get this show back in order, shall we?
Okay, how are we getting it in order, Cass?
Okay. The year of WWE or wrestling in general in the year of 2016 has definitely been up and down. I will say that. And yes, Mathis, I agree with you. I will put that guy on the list. But anyway.
What guy?
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah.
Oh, is this one of the list? Yeah, I'm not in with the.
But I mean, but here's the thing. Like when I look at the year of wrestling, I just don't. Here's the thing. Like out of all of us, I mean, I pretty much watch all wrestling. Like I actually tune into TNA, and I know that's not really included when it comes to W sometimes, but because of course WWE is the main product. That's the main show. Like that's the #1 wrestling promotion in the world. So it's just for me, and from my perspective, it's just I look at all wrestling in general. I look from TNA, ROH, New Japan, to whatever they've given me. And it's just, I will say wrestling overall in 2016, I mean, in ring wise, it's definitely been a good year, but it's like, as far as like progression and like characters that have actually been built on TV, I mean, you can't really say that anybody has actually been built up right, because 9 out of 10 times this year, the good matches that we've gotten from people are from people who have come from other wrestling companies, such as AJ Styles, Joe Nakamura. So it's kind of hard for me to see it from that aspect. Oh yeah, even Matt Hardy doing his broken brilliance.
When it comes to the quality of wrestling matches at some point during this year, I don't know if it's still true, but I know for sure it was true at some point. With Dave Meltzer and his star ratings for matches, if you put any stock in that, there was a point in time in 2016 where this was the highest rated year for the quality of matches in WWE history, according to Dave Meltzer. And it's interesting that does not, it's not intrinsically tied to interest in the product, excitement, or overall entertainment value, because you look at the pro wrestling industry and people will love to tell you, and it's true in some aspects, that pro wrestling, the actual wrestling, it's fucking very important. It's really important. It's like the cornerstone of the overall product. But hearing that this is the highest rated year for the quality of matches, and this a lot of people would consider to be a low point in WWE's history, that says a lot. And I'm wondering, where's the disconnect?
It says to me that
I see what you did there.
I didn't even see what I did there, but now I do.
It says to me that Jay's whole point about storytelling is king really rings true, because at the end of the day, if you don't have something to grasp my attention, like I can see AJ Styles do Pele kicks, I can see 450 splashes, I can see all this cool stuff, but if there's not something that makes me gravitate towards the television and doesn't make me change the channel, well, in-ring action is only so good. I could see impressive athleticism in various other avenues. But
you could see wrestling anywhere. Like, this is where all these... All right, I don't want to offend anybody that's listening, or maybe if I'm offending somebody here, but this is where all these wrestling junkies that think that, oh, just because we need to see wrestling, that's the most important thing. It's really not. Because I'm sorry, but I need my entertainment as well. Wrestling matches, you can get a good wrestling match from any promotion.
I think there was, in talking about the quality of wrestling matches, I forgot who said this, but somebody said it, I forgot who it was, but they were talking about how wrestling today, there's an expectation of, like, a video game. How there are a lot of fans out there who want wrestling matches to be booked like video game. It probably was Jim Cornette. This sounds like some shit that Jim Cornette would say, because he's a real old school minded guy. Yep. And he was talking about how wrestling matches today are booked like video games to where it's just move after move after move, not really any type of psychology. Of course, this doesn't apply to every single aspect of WWE and the matches that they have, but that whole video game mantra of like that's the expectation from fans, I could totally see that. And that does, I guess, improve the quality of matches and things like that, but you do lose out on something in the process. And for me, every year I'm getting to a point where I'm realizing a lot about, well, shit, I'm growing a lot as a person, and then that growth as a person, it ties back into the wrestling industry, where last year I realized that WWE was not the only thing out there. Like, I could actually relate to different products, and I could actually like,
amen,
because there's something, because I'll admit, when it comes to WWE, that's a part of my childhood, and that piece will always be with me. But in the year 2015, I realized that there's other shit out there that it can actually like affect me on some type of a personal, not ROH, because I've never got that feeling from ROH, but other companies out there, they could affect me on like a legit like personal level. And in the year 2016, what I've realized is that if I am not fully immersed within WWE, so it's like in 2015, it's like it's other shit out there, and in 2016, it's like with WWE, like I can walk away a little bit. I don't have to be immersed in every single aspect of WWE. Like, shit, I don't have to be in front of the TV every single Monday watching Raw. I don't have to, okay, well, you know, some folks want to go out on a Tuesday night. I can't because I got to watch SmackDown. It's like, no, shit, let's go. Okay.
I want to ask you a question, Jay. Do you feel, because last year you said WWE had its worst year ever. I believe you said 2015 was the worst year in WWE ever. Mm-hmm. So, what has that changed for you? Do you think this year has been even worse than last year?
See, it's difficult because even though I said 2015 was the worst year on record for me with WWE, I didn't stop watching. This year, I just so happened to join the Underground Railroad and, you know, escape to my liberation from Raw. But that
answers the question.
No. It doesn't. It's just that I realized that, you know, and this is gonna sound weird because it's like I would still say 2015 was the worst year on record for WWE, but it's just that 2016 was when I changed, where I was like, okay, I don't have to watch this. Like, if I'm not at the peak of entertainment, shit, I can find something else to spend 3 hours on every Monday. So, yeah, but
maybe I needed to start doing the same thing.
It's not like I can't necessarily say that WWE has gotten worse than it was in 2015. It's just that I have not seen the level of improvement that I would want to from the product to say that, okay, well, I'm gonna go back to this and I'm gonna spend my time on it. And if you got it, like whatever reason that you still watch and it's keeping you there, shit, more power to you.
I honestly think it's been the worst year.
I think one of the things that was playing against them last year was the where injuries ad nauseum. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, this year they had injuries too, though.
But you have injuries really every year last year.
Yeah, you have injuries every year, and it's quite unfortunate. But last year, I think, was the most main roster competitors have had in the whole run, you know, of televised WWE. Mm-hmm. And this year, yeah, we've had some bad injuries, and it's quite unfortunate. But last year, it was like they had no other option but to try and put some stock in some superstars that they perhaps weren't ever going to pay any mind to, because there simply wasn't that many superstars to work with. This year, while the in-ring work has improved quite a lot because we're using new characters, I feel like we're falling back on the status quo as far as, you know,
that work rate.
No, it's not the work rate at all. It's the storylines. It's falling back on same old stuff, and it's some of it's soap opera-esque, but
which
I-
Jay.
It works
Isn't
for some
always a
people.
problem.
It's not always a bad thing. I think Enzo and Lana is actually entertaining right now. Well,
Oh
Rusev,
my!
Enzo, and
No,
Lana.
we're not even going.
It's entertaining.
Let's
It's
bring
not-
it up. Wait. Let's bring this up. I love this conversation right here because
So
I was able to get some popcorn last time. So
fuck popcorn. Popcorn's bullshit.
what?
Hater,
Come on,
that's
guys.
unnecessary.
Hey, people in the chat room, please tell Dalton how wrong he is about popcorn.
No, because like, who even hates popcorn though? That's
Yeah.
weird.
that is very.
I shouldn't say I hate it. I don't hate it. I just strongly dislike it. I like. Well, it's not
Why?
even
Is it
important.
Is it
It's
because
not-
of the butter? Is it because
It's not
of the
even-
butter? It's because
Yes.
of the butter.
It's because of the butter. I'm getting heat for food. Oh my god. Not even my wrestling opinion. I'm getting heat for fucking food.
Yeah,
No. Anyway,
due to
this
you.
Enzo Lana Rusev thing. I'm actually enjoying it because it's not like it's built on some kind of wacky thing where, like, let's take Ziggler and Lana, their love triangle, hexagon, octagon, whatever you want to call it. That was built on the idea that Ziggler just happened to be naked in the hallway. But Cass played a joke on Enzo. Enzo's walking around, and I understand it was hokey because Enzo wasn't actually naked, but we're supposed to pretend. You don't want to fucking see naked Enzo. That's not what you want to see. But I think it's more interesting because it explains more about Rusev and the sanctity of his marriage with Lana because he willingly whored his wife out in an attempt to get Enzo over to a hotel to beat his ass. And then the beatdown was great. He threw him over a coffee table. He beat a vase over his head. He cracked the vase over his head. He knocked him out and left him out on the hallway, the hotel hallway floor. That was great.
It was great, but again, what was the purpose of that?
To see Enzo get his ass kicked.
Also, it's one of those. I feel as if it's one of those moments like where don't question it, just enjoy it.
No.
Because-
You have to
no,
question that shit.
No,
right
no,
there.
because here's the thing. Like I felt as if they were like going like, let's just be real here. A lot of where that scar was.
Okay. Yep, I totally agree, Cass.
We lost Cass again.
Yep.
Well, to continue this conversation, though, I just personally feel like wrestling, well, not wrestling, I shouldn't say wrestling, WWE has gotten me to this point where I've lost all motivation because I think I'm on the same boat as Jay here. In 2016, I don't see it as a priority for me anymore. I've changed because normally I gave WWE a shot. You know, the fan in me always wanted to have hope for the product, that things were going to get better. But this year, it's just been consistently bad. And they've let me down numerous times to the point where I just had enough of it. And it's funny that you guys mentioned the wrestling and all of that because, yes, the wrestling has always been great, especially this year. And you want to know why? Because WWE has the best talented roster it's ever had in the past. But the problem is they're not executing and they're not utilizing these talented performers to the point where we would like to see them, which is, you know, in great storylines with great entertaining value. We're not seeing any of that from them. Instead, yeah, they're showcasing their talent on TV through wrestling, but that's not enough. You have to develop the characters. You have to establish stars. They have not done a good job at that at all.
Yeah, and I just saw this video earlier today. It was sent to me by my homie Charlie. Shout out to you. He sent me a video where Samoa Joe was talking about his loss to Shinsuke Nakamura. He lost the NXT Championship, and there was just a very serious tone there. Something that I really fucking love. Like, I really love the character of Samoa Joe. And Charlie, like, I sent a GIF back to Charlie, like, yeah, that's my boy Samoa Joe, and he sent a tweet back to me saying that, you know, he didn't get a sense of joke. He didn't get any type of funny haha joke or anything like that from Samoa Joe and the tone that he expressed in that video. And I'm gonna keep hitting back on this. The whole thing where WWE turns people into comedians. Like, I seriously believe that's one of their biggest, like, that comes at their comes at the detriment of like actual stars and building big timers in the business, because there used to be a point in time in WWE where that did not prevent you from becoming a big star. And we talked about this a few weeks ago. You had names like Kurt Angle, The Rock, and Stone Cold, and shit, they were funny, but they were still
they had their
moments.
moments.
They were still big stars, and it's like WWE. They once they paint you with that brush these days, it just isn't popping. It doesn't happen.
Do I need to say it again? They either want their champions to be chicken shit heels or stupid ass baby faces. Let's just be real here.
They want everybody to be one dimensional. That's the problem, and that's not going to work in 2016. You have to stand out. Like, they try and limit characters to just be one specific thing. And as you guys mentioned, the reason why back then we had so many stars was because you could classify many attributes about them that made them special. And these days, it's only one or two good things that they have as far as quality is concerned, and then everything else is jack shit, and that's the problem.
You know what I find funny? It's almost ironic what they're doing, because I think it was Vince McMahon who said in an interview a few months ago, or perhaps a year ago, it was some time ago, but he said something to the effect of his intention was to blur the lines between what is a face and what is a heel. In fact, going so far as to not use those words anymore on any of their programming. And I find it funny that when we look back at characters like Stone Cold, The Rock, The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, they all had moments where, yes, they could say something legitimately funny and make the crowd laugh, and yet they were still badasses. And I wonder where that's lost today, because we don't have, with exception to, like, okay, Baron Corbin, Samoa Joe, Triple H, which doesn't count because he's, technically on the up and up. You don't have very many main roster superstars that are can be taken seriously, even though they make a joke. And when you use superstars like that for comedic fodder, like, we see through it. But I find it funny that we're looking for one-dimensional. Well, we're not. Sorry, they are looking for one-dimensional, easily defined, straightforward characters. And yet they're also blurring lines. So I don't think they know what they want.
They don't. Perfect example of that is Roman Reigns.
So how much of, like, them trying to figure out what they want, how much of that is them booking in a reactionary stance against what the fans or what the majority of fans put out there, and how much of that is they just truly don't know what to do?
That's a difficult question, because we're looking at things from one perspective when there are a lot of people out there who, you have Rusev, he's somewhat of a comedian. People like that. They find Rusev entertaining. Kevin Owens, comedian. People like that. They find him entertaining as well. And it's such a weird situation to place yourself in, where you look at them and you say, well, what they're doing, they're technically working well within what they've been given, but you just wish that they would be given more. Like, you wish that they would paint them with a different brush, or, push them in a different direction. But, I mean, I don't know. It's so damn weird, the fact that we have this disconnect here, where you look at people like that, and there are folks out there, shit, I'm sure there are people in the comments right now or people who are listening to the show right now, they love what they're seeing from Rusev and Kevin Owens. But if it prevents them from feeling like they're big time, then I don't understand it. And
it goes back to, honestly, seriously, if they feel this type of way, then they also just need to speak up about it and say it.
You know what I think it is? The fact that they've lost their face of the company in John Cena, and they're in a crisis right now trying to build that next star, and they don't know who it is. And I think that's hurting them, because the fact that John Cena is missing right now, and you can tell, it's very telling.
Right now, I'm hearing he's got heat.
Him not be, well, that's another story. But him not being part of the product on a daily basis like he used to be is very much affecting them, because the fact that he's not there, not only is he not there to put over other guys that they could potentially see as the future, but he's also not there to carry the company. And so now you put a big question mark on the state of the WWE, because after him, who replaces him, and that's where the confusion lies. That's where the disconnect is. They don't know. And that's why the product, in my opinion, is suffering. And Jay, we talked about this a few weeks ago, but for me personally, I stopped watching because there's that disconnect. We don't have somebody to replace John Cena, and if you don't have that, how are you going to move forward with the company?
Yeah, say what you want about John Cena, but that dude brings fucking presence.
Yes,
to WWE
in every single way. And that talking about storylines, talking about mic work, charisma, matches, putting over opponents, and just him being there, making it feel big and special. That's lacking. All of that is lacking. And when you lose that, well, what do you have to build off of? And that's where the problem is with the WWE.
He's going to be hosting Saturday Night Live tonight. Yeah,
which I don't give a damn about. It's just the adult version of all that.
I'm watching as well. And one quick point here, but I find it ironic how people give John Cena shit after all these years, all these haters of John Cena and stuff, saying he was ruining the company. Yet, when he's not there this year, this has been the year where he's been absent the most. And ironically enough, on that same year, the WWE has suffered. And I think that makes a lot of sense.
I'll tell you this, though. I mean, I kind of find it funny on how, when it comes to New Day and their championship reign, people were all happy and all giddy when Cena was on that 381-day reign shit, the reign of terror of Cena from 06 to 07. But yeah, a lot of people are happy settling with the damn New Day, the black dudes that wear fucking dildos on their damn heads. I mean, it's so
this tirade against the New Day.
Let's rock. Seriously, Cass, I think if I was to watch WWE, they'd be one of the reasons why I still watch, because the New Day never fails to entertain me, to be quite honest.
It's just the
how can you say that? How can you say that, Lucas? You don't watch right now.
Well, if I were to watch, again, I'm making a hypothetical, analysis here. If I was to watch,
your analysis is way wrong. These guys are.
Well, why are they bad now? What's changed about them?
They themselves are not bad in and of themselves. Is that their shtick's getting old. They're using the same jokes. Half the time they're doing product plugs. And, most of us don't appreciate being told, drink Mountain Dew or eat Bootios.
But that's the booking. That's not their problem.
I know what it is with Cass. If there are two things that I know about Cass, I know he's a SmackDown guy. Hashtag SmackDown matters, and he loves tag team wrestling. The thing that he sees with the New Day, with their reign being so long and them beating everybody, it's like New Day chasing this record comes at the expense of every other tag team in the division. And Cass, I'm sure, would like a strong tag team division. He doesn't like the fact that people are made to look like bitches, for New Day.
To me, it's not. I just don't like the fact, because to me, this long reign that they've been having, to me, this doesn't help the tag team division at all over the last year. Like, to me, it hasn't, because here's the thing: when New Day's on this long title reign, whoever beats them for those belts, it's going to have to mean something.
But Cass,
go ahead.
So are you saying like they're just chasing the record just for the sake of having New Day's name in the record books? Like what's the real point? Like, what can I latch on to out of this outside of shit New Day just being in the record books?
Ask me that question again, Jay. You broke up for a second.
So basically, like, if I'm reading you correctly, you're saying that they're just having New Day chase this record just for the sake of having them beat a record, and there's not really anything that you can latch on to that's like substantive. Like, they're not improving the tag team division, they're not improving themselves, or
because you have to look for stuff like that. It's almost like, and I hate to say this, but it's almost like with the Charlotte Sasha Banks feud.
See.
How is it going to help? How is it going to help the Raw Women's division?
I'm jumping off the boat now.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on to that topic, Cass, I want to ask you a question about the New Day and the tag team. All right. So I understand where your frustration is coming from, but here's the thing: who on Raw that's a tag team right now is honestly worthy enough of having those titles?
The Club, Cesaro,
and Sheamus.
Oh wait, Cesaro and Sheamus are a tag team?
There you go.
I know that.
Whoa, no, I knew that. I'm joking. But that's not a real tag team. That's what I was trying to indicate there. They're not a real tag team.
I mean, what's a real tag team?
They're not a real tag team because they don't have tag team merch?
No, they're not a real tag team because, come on, that's WWE putting two random dudes who should be singles competitors at the higher mid-card scene.
How many tag teams can we say that? Shit, we can say that about New Day, too.
But the
New Day have established themselves as a tag team identity, and that's why they're red hot. And
so all you're saying is that they need time. Then, well, in 6 months, 3 months.
Okay, here's the thing.
If that's what you need, then yeah, you can't just put the titles on random people that don't deserve it.
Yeah, I'm going to end this right now. Because here's the thing, here's the thing, you have to go back in the history books and really see like Raw Championship reigns. In the end, how does it help the division? Like seriously, how does it help the division in the end? Because it seriously doesn't help. Like seriously, what about Triple H's reign of terror when he was the World Heavyweight Champion, like in 03 and 04, like how did that seriously help the main event scene on Raw? It really didn't. And also when it comes to this tag team title reign, it's just for me, I have to look at the specifics and really look, okay, whoever beats New Day for those belts, I need to see that team be on a tear. I need to see that team be protected. New Day, in my opinion, they've just been protected way too much, especially since me personally and as a fan, I find it totally offensive that you're going to have a 3-man team defeat a 2-man team's record. Like I said, that's just me.
They're on the beneficial side of things because personally, I feel like if they were on SmackDown, things would be a little bit different. To me personally, the tag team division over on SmackDown is way better and full of more competition than on Raw, which is another reason why I think the New Day have held on to those titles, because you just don't have, in my opinion, you don't have a division as strong enough as you do on SmackDown to say that anyone should take those titles from the New Day over on Monday Night Raw.
That's because Raw really tends to work with top-down booking, where you establish one star or set of stars in whichever particular division you're working with, and then unfortunately the undercard in each respective division doesn't get a fair shake, which I think is Raw's mainly booking issue.
Like Cass says he wants to see the club with the titles, but didn't we already see that feud earlier this year, and look how it turned out? So I just think that because they're on Raw, they're being protected. I agree with him in that sense. They have been protected, because I think if they were on SmackDown, or let's say if you brought some of those tag teams from SmackDown over to Raw, boy, would things look different. But they're all high and mighty right now.
Villains over there shake things up.
Oh, come on, Jay. You know they're pretty damn good.
Do I?
Yes.
You don't even know. What the hell are you talking about? But
what you mean?
Okay, so I have to say something about the women's division over on Raw. Now, here's the thing. Earlier on in the show, Lucas, you were talking about how there wasn't much that felt special about WWE this year. I will not allow the slander of the Raw women's division. I'm not going to allow that at all. And if I have to go as far as to say, well, there's no women's division, just Charlotte and Sasha Banks, then so be it. Because what they have done, it has been special, it has been impressive, and it has been important. And also, it has been good. And that's something that kind of gets thrown to the wayside because we're at a point in time where we've talked about this a lot now. WWE is risking people getting tired of it. However, I do believe what we've seen thus far from them, it has been very important work that has been done, and it has been quality, and that's been one of the highlights. It's one of the top highlights of the entire year for WWE, the work that they have done with that Raw Women's Championship.
Well, I have a question. I have a question for you. I'm sorry, Dalton. You want to make your point?
To Jay's point about the women's division, while it has been very good and groundbreaking, I think it's looked at with fervor is not the right word, but it's looked at positively because while I don't necessarily think WWE is calling it making history for history's sake, like I don't think they think they're doing that, but it's still uncharted territory that we understand it is as fans. But if you look at something like the tag team division and compare it to the women's division, and I understand they're not quite the same things, New Day has been protected. They've gotten over by hook or by crook. And Sasha and Charlotte have both been protected. But they've been playing hot potato. And it's not that like I think the New Day is talented, so they deserve they deserve to be where they are just as much as Sasha and Charlotte are talented and they deserve to be where they are. But it's only looked at positively because yes, they're breaking ground and it's great for the other women. But in and of itself right now, it's getting tiresome. And it's only looked at positively because it is breaking ground. It's historical right now. Look at it not a month from now, I'm sorry, more like 2 years from now. It might be looked at a little bit more negatively because, well, we got oversaturated.
Exactly.
I don't understand how it would be more easily looked at as oversaturated in 2 years rather than it being looked at that way while we're living through it right now. If anything,
I see it that way right now,
if
too.
anything, time could possibly only improve the way that people think about it. Or at least as far as I'm concerned. Like, I don't think people are gonna, if they're liking it now, 2 years down the line say, oh yeah, that was a little bit too much. Like, I don't get how that would work, but I still think that what they're doing right now, like, it's unconventional for what we have seen from the women, but the fact that I don't understand this whole thing with the playing hot potato as if there is some, like, what standard are we basing that off of? Like, there's some arbitrary standard out there that a person has to hold a title for this amount of days or this many months before it is deemed to be legit. I don't think it's arbitrary when the title. I don't think it's arbitrary when the title that they're hot potatoing hasn't existed for more than 4 or 5 months. It's brand new. There's no foundation for it. Like, you don't see what they're doing right now as building the foundation?
No.
Not really, no. Like, I'm not saying it's not good. It's been great matches. It's
How
been a great
are they
feud.
By them carving out history and by them actually going out there and having damn good matches with two equally skilled competitors, how is that not establishing a foundation for that title? How is that not instilling legitimacy within that women's championship?
It's not revolutionary. It really isn't. I know you feel different about it, but it's not revolutionary because to me, this is the same two women from Monday Night Raw that started off the year doing the exact same thing. And then it all went down, then it goes up again. And I think that's the problem with why, the switching of the titles each and every single month. It's a problem. It's not that everybody wants to see somebody hold a title for this amount of days or months. I just think that there's never a conclusion. And we need to see a conclusion. Like, what is the purpose? The storyline
hasn't ended yet. How the hell are you going to look at a storyline in the middle of it or at any point and say that we haven't reached it? They're going to get to the conclusion. Like, I would understand
But there's a problem, Jay, because if people are asking for an ending, there's a problem there. If this shit was good, people would want to be patient. They would want to see. But I really think there's a majority out there that are questioning, when is this going to end?
And there are, and I'll go ahead and admit that, but there's sometimes where you can feel that a storyline is reaching its natural conclusion. For example, the stuff that was going on with The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. I felt like what they did at TLC, that was at the point where it was reaching its natural conclusion. Even though I liked what I've seen from The Miz and Dolph Ziggler, I still said to myself, okay, it's about time that we go ahead and wrap this shit up and these two people move into their separate directions. Just because I'm anticipating the ending, it does not mean that I don't like what I'm seeing. It's just that, okay, based off of the story that they have told, there's only so much that you can do from this point on. And boom, they ended it. I don't feel as if we've reached that point where it's like, oh my God, why the fuck is this shit still going on with Sasha Banks and Charlotte? I think the thing that they are doing is that they have established that these two are on an equal playing field. They are equals. On any given night, Charlotte could beat Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks could be Charlotte, or shit, on any given Raw for Charlotte and any given pay-per-view for Charlotte. But you guys basically get what I'm saying. They have established these two as equals, and that took a few matches to get to that point, and now we're going to get the big blow-off. That's going to be this Iron Man match that they have coming up. And
I'm sorry, but for me, if you have a Hell in a Cell, that should be the feud closer. And forgive me if I'm going way too old school with this mess.
And you are, and you're forgiven. Because we know what Hell in a Cell is these days. It is not the big be-all, end-all that it should be. And that's a standard that I would love to hold WWE to. And shit, I was the one that was on YouTube ranting and raving about how Mick Foley and his bullshitty assness, and the guy forgot that he was the biggest victim of the Hell in a Cell in the entire history of WWE. So I still am aware of that standard, and maybe the structuring, we could have switched up some matches here and there, but that does not change the fact that I think that they've done a lot of great work. And
I'm not denying that either.
The Raw Women's Division, the Raw Women's Championship, even SmackDown, and every single woman that will ever compete in WWE from this point on will be benefiting off of the work that Charlotte and Sasha Banks are putting in right now. And that means something.
So you think it's a thing where we have to give credit because of the talent and the work rate being done in the ring, or more so a credit towards them for revolutionizing the entire division? Because I think those are two different things there.
They are two different things, but just because they're two different things does not mean that they're mutually exclusive. They can both occur at the same time. This is the same thing that I was talking to Dalton about last week. We don't have to separate the two. They are two separate things, but they can go hand in hand. And I think that this is a situation where they go hand in hand.
I don't know, man. What was that?
All right, what else you guys got?
Well,
oh damn!
What's up?
Oh no, nothing. Go ahead.
Apparently, Paige's suspension is up.
Oh no! Here we go with this mess all over again. Get this guy's monkey ass off the call. Seriously.
Of course.
We have to talk about this.
Oh, I just got a tweet from Charlie saying that the first Hell in a Cell wasn't a feud closer.
It should. If it's one of the feud closers.
Shout out to Charlie, always coming through
with the facts.
And Isaiah, I agree with you. Why is Jay talking in such a seductive voice? I agree.
Look, if I'm not even gonna say what I was about to say. But let's just say that I've talked in the same voice that I've always talked in. Well, not always, because 2009, that was kind of rough, but I digress.
So was 2008 in wrestling, but we're still here.
No, I'm saying me on YouTube. For me in 2009, that was rough. I didn't.
We need to see if we can find those stuff.
No, all that shit is locked down. I had that guy. You remember that guy a few like not too long ago? He called into the show and was playing clips of me.
Oh yeah,
and very embarrassing.
Great shit.
After he played the clip, I went and I locked all of those videos down. Well, I didn't lock all of them down. Some of them are still up there. But yeah, like if you feel some type of way by hearing my voice, like, you know, I mean, I can't help it. Yeah. What else you guys got?
Well, here's the thing. For the people who actually were able to catch up on ROH Final Battle, Kyle O'Reilly is our new ROH World Champion, so I am happy for that. And also, Broken Matt Hardy made appearance at Final Battle. And apparently, I'm here, we're going to get some kind of tag team apocalyptic final deletion from TNA.
Oh, I heard about that next week. I'll watch.
Yeah, this is coming from all tag teams from all over the world, I heard. So I'm going to be all over that.
Yeah, and that's something that's been special about the year of wrestling. I think what the work that Matt Hardy has done, it's been innovative, it's been creative, and it sparked a little bit of interest in TNA, and Dixie Carter did everything in her power to fucking ruin it and
and
dominate the headlines.
And also in other news, Cody Rhodes, or Cody, is now a member of the Bullet Club.
Okay. Yeah, I actually did watch that video earlier today. That looked pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Cody. I haven't been following all of his stuff that he's done outside of WWE as much as I would like, but I'm going to have to find some time to get back into it.
So which Cody joined? Was it undashing, dashing, mustache Cody Rhodes?
It was the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes.
Oh, that's an interesting moniker there.
Alrighty, what else? Dalton, you got anything?
I think while we're talking about other feuds that we're getting tired of, I think Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, their friendship is getting a little tiring.
But they're funny though. They're entertaining. That's what I keep hearing.
Because they're entertaining, because they're comedians, we have to keep them around, right? Like we can't possibly introduce any other kind of narrative that would make sense, but because they're funny and because they could potentially push merch, they have to make a TV appearance as is, right?
Yeah.
So I really felt that like this week, I'm sure no one else even got this. I don't know if y'all are fans of Rick and Morty. The cadences that Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho were speaking in were something out of Rick and Morty, and I think the fact that Kevin Owens is like basically on his knees with his arms around Chris Jericho's waist saying, "Please come back to me," is absolutely pathetic. Like, we're supposed to believe this gentleman right here, who's holding the Universal title, which in kayfabe is supposed to be the most prestigious title that they have on the show.
Not even, I don't accept that. Not even in kayfabe. And that's something that I also wanted to talk about too when it comes to the women. We're at a point right now where we've entered into a new era where it's basically open season, where on any given week, the women can main event, or any given pay-per-view. Like, they have shattered that glass ceiling to where it's up for grabs. Like I said, it's open season now.
So, let me rephrase that. What I was trying to say was the most prestigious title in the male division. There we go. I didn't say it was. I said it's supposed to be.
Okay, I got you. Let me stop raining on this parade here.
In the event, this gentleman right here is supposed to be the leader of the male portion of the division, and he's playing second fiddle to Chris Jericho, and that's not degrading.
What's new?
Well, that's not taking away from Chris Jericho, because many of us have felt, I think all of us included, that this is some of Chris Jericho's best work. Some would say it's his most. I think it's his second most. But that's neither here nor there. It's the fact that, yes, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens are entertaining, but I think just because they're comedians, just because I get a laugh out of them, doesn't mean that they can't be a badass. This is where that whole blending of what a character should be, this is where I think straightforward black and white character development is king. Because at this point, Kevin Owens is bound to lose the title and just continue in a feud with Chris Jericho. That's inevitably where I see him going. As far as WrestleMania goes, he'll inevitably lose the title and then stick around with Chris Jericho just because, well, we got to get a few more months out of this.
And then we'll have a classic ROH match between Tyler Black and Kevin Steen. It'll be fantastic. It'll be an IWC WrestleMania moment that we can all live in time.
It'll be another one of those highly rated matches that, don't do a fucking thing. Yeah, one of those.
Well, speaking of Seth Rollins, let's talk about this son of a bitch finally mentioning Triple H after forgetting that he actually existed for like 2.5 months. I love Seth Rollins, but come on.
Yeah, and I told you already. I told you, Cass, don't start pulling that mess. Once we get to our nomination special, don't
worry. Don't worry, because his comeback has just been so terrible. So not what I expected.
But Jay, But Jay, I wanted to see Cass mark out to a prank again. That was funny stuff last year.
Yeah, that was. I hate. I was gonna say I hate doing that to you, but I honestly didn't. I got so much joy out of that. It was wonderful. But yeah, we do have the nomination special coming up, and we're actually going to be. Some of you guys are familiar with the concept, and some of you guys have absolutely no idea what the hell this is. But if you listen to the version of PWTR that didn't include me, it was Manny, Duke, Justin, and David. So the old school PWTR guys, they had this concept called Last Mark Standing. That will be coming back. It will be coming back, and we're going to have that be our nomination special for the W. So we'll be going in there, or you all will be going in there and duking it out, and arguing and fighting and all of that good shit. So I'll just be sitting back and judging you guys. So basically, what I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I meant the arguing and the bickering and the going back and forth to decide who wins. Part.
I don't know. We're pretty nice. We get along. That Lucas guy, he's a little bit of a live wire, but other than that.
Wait, yeah, whoa! Why me?
Why you? You came out. You came out swinging at everybody earlier. Just came out throwing bombs and stuff, but yeah, Last Mark Standing, that'll be re-debuting, debuting for the first time on YouTube. Around, let's just say it. I won't let it get too far into the new year, because that's going to take a whole hell of a lot of editing and time on my part. So that's something to look forward to in the future.
Also, something to look forward to. I mean, we got Tribute to the Troops.
Is that really something to look forward to?
I mean, I gotta show love to my troops by watching. So,
did Dalton have a story about that?
I show love to the troops too when I donate, but I went to the Tribute to the Troops show last year, and it was I mean, it was fun only because it was my very first live show. But for a show an NXT house show could have been well, of course it could have, but you get the point.
Shit, they have title changes at NXT house shows and all that, so yeah.
Speaking of title changes from house shows,
but
of course,
before you get there, can I just go ahead and say, as a troop, I don't give a shit about Tribute to the Troops. You want to pay tribute to me, WWE? Step your game up on the shows that are actually on a week-to-week basis. Get James Ellsworth's punk ass.
No, you mean Dick Squirt. You mean that no chin douchebag?
Yes, get the guy who douchebag out of the orbit of AJ Styles. Make AJ Styles great again. Okay.
I'm glad you acknowledge AJ Styles isn't great right now.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I honestly feel personally offended at the fact that they took AJ Styles away from me. They did, but the work that he put in before that. It still warrants some consideration for Wrestler of the Year. I haven't made my official pick yet, but AJ Styles is definitely a contender. Charlotte is definitely a contender.
Joe?
Jay is gonna rig this thing all over again and have Sasha Banks become Wrestler.
How about Samoa Joe?
Why would I just said Charlotte. She's embroiled in a feud with Sasha Banks. It's not like I forgot who Sasha Banks is. And you can't... The fact that I have the powers of persuasion does not mean I'm rigging it. It just means that I'm good at what I do. I'm effective. So, of course, I'm going to advocate. I'm going to be an advocate, like Paul Heyman, for whoever I pick for Wrestler of the Year. And if that person just so happens to win, it wasn't rigged. It's just, me being my effective self.
It was a good strategy.
Yes, and it worked.
In that case, I'm advocating my pick.
Who is your pick?
I don't have one yet.
And you did that last year, too, and it didn't work. So.
Well, no, I had one last year.
Yeah, and that person didn't win.
Yeah.
So... I mean,
Israel.
I mean, you could try over again, but I don't know. We'll see. What else you guys got?
I mean, Nakamura. I mean, this past episode of NXT, I don't know if you got a chance to watch, Jay, or if anybody else on this panel got to watch, but DIY finally made their return to Full Sail. Fuck Full Sail for trying to jump on the bandwagon of the Revival, trying to sing their goddamn theme song when they came out.
Yeah, just boo them. They're good heels. Like, honor that, please.
Yeah, and like the Office of Pain came out, and I know that the Revival will be getting their rematch on the January 11th edition of NXT against DIY, and the winners of that match will face the Office of Pain in San Antonio for TakeOver.
Okay.
That match scares the shit out of me.
Which one? The one that's going to be taking place at TakeOver?
Yes. But isn't it? I know what DIY and the Office of Pain can bring. It's just my cousin told me this just tonight. He said, "Is it wrong for me to want to see the Office of Pain win?" And I was like, I don't know if you're too far away from that, but also we had the NXT. We had No Way Jose and Rich Swann, the Cruiserweight Champion, in action against Sanity's Eric Young and Alexander Wolf. And we also had the debut. I don't know if you guys know who this is. Big Damo.
No.
Yeah, that's your loss for not covering the world of wrestling in 2016. Yeah, this guy's a good UK wrestler. I've seen some of his work on the independent scene, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does. And then, of course, you had Joe Nakamura for the NXT Championship in a match that was taped, and I think that should have been played live.
You waking up at 2 in the morning watching NXT?
No, not like wake up at 2 in the morning, but just be like, I'll like watch it like 5 hours afterwards. But yeah, Nakamura won the title back, and I know that next week NXT will be having some qualifying matches to get to a fatal 4-way elimination match to see who gets to face Joe for the NXT. Well, actually, no, face Nakamura for the NXT Championship at San Antonio. And these matches will be Ty Dillinger versus Eric Young, Oney Lorcan versus Bobby Roode. What was the other ones? Oh, yeah. Andre Almas versus No Way Jose. And Elias Sampson versus Roderick Strong. So, yeah, good stuff from NXT coming. I don't know about that Andre Almas versus No Way Jose matchup, but...
Okay, so I wanted to talk about TLC really quickly because I didn't do a review of it. There wasn't one up for PWF Empire. But I really enjoyed that show.
It was good.
I thought that The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler, damn good match. AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose for the WWE Championship.
Match of the night for me.
That was definitely the match of the night. That was a fucking awesome match. That springboard 450 from AJ Styles. Sweet. And then also that that modified suplex that Dean Ambrose did. Gotta give some props to Ambrose too on all of the chairs. That was fucking crazy.
I've never seen that before.
Then also Kalisto versus Baron Corbin. I was so surprised by that match because I didn't have any expectations of it going in.
Me neither.
But that was a damn good match. And Baron Corbin, that's my homeboy. I posted this on Twitter. Do not sleep on Baron Corbin. Don't do it. Don't make that mistake.
I really enjoyed TLC. I thought it was a decent show. I mean, the tag team title match, I mean, Randy Orton and Bray.
I think Cass cut out again. But, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt. I don't think that there was any one necessarily bad match. There was.
Yes, there was. The only bad one.
All right, Nikki versus Carmella.
Yes.
That whole ending with the fire extinguisher, I didn't like that at all. It was
something cheesy. Out of a bad horror movie.
or like the fact on how that bombshell that Carmella tried to drop.
They expected people to go like that, but I'm like, okay, and I don't give a fuck.
She announced like, oh, it was Natalya, and I think I heard somebody in the second row cough, like. It was so quiet. Like that was so dumb. Like, why didn't you have her address that prior to the match? That way, maybe you could have pretended that Nikki was gonna, no, have her address it prior to the start of the match, and then have Nikki beat the living shit out of her and just show her aggression that way. Because to get pinned because your back got sprayed with carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide from a fire
Oh,
extinguisher.
it wasn't carbon monoxide. She'd be fucking dead.
What? Okay, like dry ice vapor. I don't know, something stupid.
It was carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else, guys? Also, Miz and Danny Bryan had another fucking awesome exchange on Talking Smack. Good stuff.
Oh,
They
I gotta
fucking
see that.
cut it off.
I gotta see that. Is it on YouTube?
What about Alexa Bliss winning the women's championship for SmackDown?
I like her as I like the idea of her as champion.
She owns her position, and I so love it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Alexa Bliss, to tie this in with her, Mickie James has signed with the WWE, and personally, I would love to see Mickie James' first opponent be Alexa Bliss.
They got to put her on SmackDown.
Yeah,
she is.
That would be perfect. She is going. Well, she's rumored to be going to SmackDown, but that would be perfect because I could just see these two putting on a terrific story. Oh my goodness, that is
honestly. You want to talk about a terrific story? I'm also hearing stuff around that Ty Dillinger is coming up to SmackDown soon, and I'm hearing that he's possibly going to be feuding with The Miz.
Two of my favorites. I could get down with that. I could rock with Ty, versus The Miz.
Seriously though, but Miz has been such a great antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
He's perfect for Ty Dillinger.
Just like Alexa would be perfect for Mickie James.
Yeah, Miz is so good, he made me give a shit about Dolph Ziggler for like 2 weeks. So
Yeah, I absolutely. That No Mercy match I thought was really damn good, and I'm certainly thankful that Miz and Ziggler are, their part of the feud has ended. But keep the Miz being an antagonist. Keep Maurice being his ride or die chick. Keep jumping in front of suicide dives, or keep doing that. Thank you, Maurice.
That was some badassery right there. I love that.
She didn't hesitate or anything. She just stood in front of him like, "What you gonna do?"
I cannot tell you guys how much I fucking love Miz and Maurice. They are truly treasures to this world. They really are. Seriously.
There's something refreshing. There's something refreshing about, like, we've seen chicken shit heels, but I think Miz isn't actually a chicken shit heel. Like, he has the charisma of, a smarmy, self-entitled bad guy. But the thing I love about him is that, like, he not only can he talk, and not only is he a prick, like, the fact that his wife is behind him and feels that she's legitimately doing, her job, and then it's not addressed. Daniel Bryan addresses it, but so far as anybody else addressing it, I love the fact that it's, Miz actually believes it's his own greatness that's getting him over, when in reality, she is, behind every great man is a even better woman. And I love the fact that he just doesn't see the forest through the trees on that. He's so delusional, it's like, I believe in myself, so I'm the best. I find a way to win. No, your wife finds a way to win.
We do have one person in WWE bringing it up, David Otunga, which is funny.
His comment is terrible on commentary.
As his comment, I was just about to ask that question.
It's bad. It's
so
terrible.
bad.
It's so
bad.
god awful.
See, I wouldn't even
not
necessarily
good
say
at
he's
all.
bad. He's just forgetful.
No.
By the way, speaking of
that guy is terrible.
Speaking of commentary, what's this I'm hearing about JBL blocking Morrow on Twitter?
I'm not familiar. I mean, I know earlier this
everybody.
I think he's like getting heat because he was going. He was addressing rumors on his Twitter, so they've taken to bringing it up on commentary. Like, he made a lot of references to Twitter on the last episode of SmackDown. Because there was some stuff out there. A wrestling reporter got some information wrong, saying that Morrow was on his way out of WWE, and Morrow responded back to it, telling him that he was basically full of shit, and I guess he's in the doghouse now because of it, which is weird. But that's that whole like Carney thing.
That's a
coming back
blessing,
to
though.
wrestling.
That's a blessing. I don't want to be involved with JBL's Twitter. I don't give a fuck what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like, block me, please.
Yeah, speaking of moral, have any of you guys actually watched the 205 Live thing?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
You don't like the show overall or commentary? What?
Nothing's different. I mean, like seriously, this whole 205 Live thing is exactly what I knew it would be. Superstars and main event just with vanilla midgets running the show.
See, if I'm being completely honest, they were kind of smart with what they did, because I only watch 205 Live because I know Talking Smack is coming on after it. So I always have to, like, I'll finish watching SmackDown, and then I'm like, okay, Talking Smack. I go to the network, and it's like, oh shit, well, 205 Live is on. Well, I'm not doing anything for the next hour, so, I'll watch it. I don't think I would really go out of my way to watch 205 Live if it didn't come on immediately after, or SmackDown, or come on in the spot that Talking Smack would usually come on.
Because right now it's just matches.
But, I mean, we are getting some storyline development with...
I don't...
Like, at the end of the show, we had, like, that three-way going on. TJ Perkins, Rich Swann.
I'm glad you worded that I'm glad the way you worded that perfectly. Like that's a perfect way to describe this whole shit. I mean, like,
maybe that'll get them some viewers. Like, whoa, there's a three-way on the show. Man, check this out. Doing my duty. Trying to help out every now and again.
I mean, I did watch the main event between Rich Swann and Brian Kendrick. I will say it is interesting to see they might be turning TJ Perkins heel. I mean, from what I've been seeing. But seriously, this whole 205 Live thing is a fail. It's failing.
Alrighty, so I think we're about done here.
Yes.
Don't be so excited, man. Anything more to say before we head off air? Any parting comments?
I look forward.
Shit, go ahead, Lucas.
I look forward to the W's.
Me too.
As do I. It should be lots of fun. Happy belated birthday, Casey. Oh, actually, I don't know why I'm wishing him a birthday. He's not my supervisor anymore.
Why is he not your supervisor anymore?
Well, Mr. I owe the thanks to one Mr. Brian Joel. I no longer work at Mr. Is Dr. W.
We all know who Brian Joel is.
I know a Brian Joel. I don't know a Brian Joel.
No, doesn't he work up in the office?
I owe the most imponderable joy to that gentleman, because he cost me my job at web.com.
Man. Or did your trash talk about your supervisor cost you your job?
So let me get this straight. Is Brian Joel the same guy that looks like JJ off of Good Times, so I don't get the two guys confused?
Brian Joel is the same guy with the seductive voice.
Wasn't that the corporate guy who came in when Lucas was moderating PWF Empire Live to like lay the hammer down? He had to come in and
yeah, where is that guy? I miss that guy. I look forward to talking to him again sometime down the line. And by the way, Dalton, did your supervisor fire you because you didn't like popcorn? That might have been another reason why.
Yeah. He probably found out you like banana-flavored Laffy Taffies. Like, I think there should be, like, a national registry for people who like banana-flavored Laffy Taffies. That's some shit that Donald Trump could do.
We're not going back to that.
Yeah, he wants to start a lot of national registries. That could be one of them.
This is a serious investigation here.
So what are you doing for work, Dalton?
This week I had the pleasure of testing out discount parachutes.
Nice to see you survive. So they're good to go.
So far, next week may not be here. So, wish me luck. Please keep me in your prayers.
Well, good luck in that damn Brian Joel, man. Alrighty, thank you guys for tuning in to the show this week. We'll be back next week on Thursday, as we got something special planned for the show next week. Well, I guess I can let you guys know. You guys don't even know this now, but we have a new person who will be joining the fold here. A new contributor to PWF Empire.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, and I know I said on Twitter that I was going to share a story with you guys. I'll tell you three off air, but I'm going to save that for our next Anarchy. Yeah, because we need some good content for our next Anarchy when it's like a non-wrestling discussion show. So, yeah, we're going to save that, and I'm going to try to plan it out to see when we're going to do that. But as far as this show goes, it's it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you on the flip side. Peace.
There it is.